Hi guys, I'm starting off this layout by making a silhouette cut. So I'm just starting off by cutting it on white paper just to make sure that it's going to look the way I want it to look. So I just went away to my Cameo and I used the LW Happy font, which is, I'm pretty sure it was a free font. I don't know if it was something. It could have been something that I bought from the Silhouette Studio software, or it could be something that I got online for free. Anyhow, I'm going to make this cut available for you guys on my blog, so I will leave the link to that on my on the information section for this video. So I just typed up the phrase "You are the frosting on my cupcake," and I was pretty sure I was going to use my mat again to put this title on a patterned piece of paper because that was my plan. So I just have to take all of these letters off right away. Normally I would wait to do that until afterwards. And that little scraper thing is a Cricut tool that I just held on to after I got rid of my Cricut when I bought my Cameo, and it's very handy for removing a whole bunch of things off of your mat at once. So I'm just measuring how big the title is so that I can make my layers. I want them to kind of be right beside my title. And I'm just going to look through the paper. I'm definitely going to use that DIY shop packaging with the wood, kind of like a cross-section of a piece of wood. And I'm going to use the star paper, and I think I'm going to layer this piece of basic gray paper with the title. I'm going to cut the title into that piece of paper, and then I am going to put a piece of black paper on the back. I just wrote down 3 by 3 just so you all know that that's the size of the photo that I'm using. This is just something off my Instagram. I scrapbook a lot of pictures off of my Instagram because it's sort of our everyday life, and I consider myself an everyday scrapbooker. Like, I don't scrap a whole lot of events. I do when we have them, we just don't have many events. And so I'm definitely going to use that piece of wood grain because I love it so much as one of the layers, and I'm thinking it might look really nice with that transparency with the hearts on it, and just kind of still thinking about what I'm going to do with that background paper. I had to cut the manufacturer strip off of it. It is from Basic Gray from the Fresh Cut collection. So I'm just going to stick it down on my mat. My mat is not very sticky, so I have to really press it down. Then I thought about using this star paper under just the word frosting, and then I thought maybe this Amy Tangerine paper might look a little bit more like frosting because it is streaky, because it looks like a watercolor type of paper. So I thought I might do that, and I cut a little 4 by 1 inch rectangle, and then I realized that it didn't have the right, it wasn't dark enough, and then yeah, so I'll come back to talk about that a little bit later. And the Y cut properly on this one. I don't know why the Y didn't cut properly on the white one, but I was happy that it cut on this one. So there's my title. I'm just going to layer it behind this black piece of cardstock that came in the kit. And then I have that Amy Tangerine from the +1 collection paper behind just the word frosting. And now I'm going to use my punch to put a little bit of dimension. I'm basically going to mimic the scallop that was already on that. There was a bit of a scallop border on that packaging, but I cut off the scallop part. So I'm just going to, I used my Stampin' Up! Scallop punch, and I'm just going to make a interesting edge on that. And now it's just a little bit bigger than what I want it to be. I want the photo to kind of hang off of it, and I don't want the photo to be too far away from the words. So I just pinched it there. You can see the little pinch mark just to show where I wanted to cut it so it didn't hang down too far below my title. And now I'm going to use just a permanent marker, because another kind of marker would rub off to mark where I want to cut this piece of transparency. That's from Allison Cruft. And I'm just going to layer those two like that and put the photo on top. There will be some more layers, but I just haven't chosen the papers yet. Well, I know I want to use that star paper. So there's the star paper, and I'm going to figure out where I'm going to put that. Basically, I want it to mat the photo and hang out a little bit because I want you to be able to see the stars. So I'm going to put it horizontally. All of these layers so far have all been more vertically oriented. And now I'm going to put another bit of an interesting edge on this one. I'm trying to use my border punches a little bit more because I've gone through a phase of using mostly straight edges on my scrapbooking. So I'm really wanting to get back into using some punches punches to well, to punch up the edges of my papers. So I really like how those layers are looking at this point, but it does need one more. What I want is I want a touch of black. So this is another piece of the Alison Craft paper. And it has this kind of really subtle pattern on black, and so it basically reads as a black. So I'm just going to layer it. It's just the teensiest little layer there that you can barely see, but it does make a difference. It just brings a little bit of black into the layers. There's already quite a bit of black on the photo because it's taken on my black countertop. So I'm thinking about what I'm going to layer in between, in amongst all of these layers. So I took out those cut aparts from Ormolu, and I took out that fun banner. I don't want to put words beside the other words, so I went away from that die cut that you just saw me using there. And now I just went and got the Amy Tangerine stickers that came with this kit. These are from, I don't know what collection. It could be from the +1 collection. And I'm just kind of looking, I love the colors of these stickers, but I'm looking for some long, thin elements that I could dress up my layers with. And so I just took that scribble leaf sticker and I stuck it so it overlaps on the edge of my photo and it kind of hangs off a little bit at the bottom. And I'm going to use that happy sticker, and I instantly get the song Happy into my head, and it's still in my head. So there, I just rounded the corners on that rectangle sticker just so it looks a little bit more like a tab instead of just a rectangle, and it brings a little bit of softness to the place that I'm going to put it. I'm outlining it because it's not going to show up very well without the outlining, just because I'm going to put it over on the side beside the title. Then I put the word today, that today sticker right there, and I just did some outlining around it as well so that it doesn't blend in too much. And then I'm going to put that on the tab like that, so that becomes a little embellishment that just goes along the edge of my photo. So I just used a bit of, I'm using Sticky Thumb as my adhesive because I ran out of ATG and I was too lazy to refill it. I do have one more roll of refill. I have to buy some more ATG refills. So anyways, I'm just using what was at hand. And so I am just going to put this fun die cut that came in the kit. It's a Scraptastic exclusive. I'm just kind of layering it so that you can see the edge and so that you can see enough of the happy sticker and enough of the fun die cut. So I'm kind of doing a horizontal line up here so that they're going to look right together. And now I'm going to go down another road for a little while. You can come along with me. I'm going to do some painting just because I really wanted this to look a little bit more like frosting, and it wasn't looking like frosting. So I took some of this distress paint that came in the last kit from February, and I just smeared some paint on it. It's very, very subtle. You can barely see it. But I'm also going to drip some neon pink from the Tumble Dye by SEI. And so I'm going to drip some neon pink drips on there. And I'm drying it with my heat tool, and then I'm going to sprinkle some white sprinkles and then even a couple of black sprinkles. And those are both from Mr. Huey's. The white is called Opaque White and the black is called Skyscraper. I'm going to heat those up with my heat tool just to dry them. And I just hang my heat tool right under my desk on one of those command strips hooks, and that way it's always plugged in and ready to go, and I just need to kind of pull it up to where I'm working and use it and then hang it back down on the hook when I'm done. So this is okay. It's not, I don't love it, but I'm going to keep on going with it anyway. Sometimes I like to see things through, just even if it seems like I don't like it at the beginning. Sometimes once I put the whole layout together, I do like it. So I'm going to go with this piece, even though I don't think it's quite as bright of a pink as I would like it to be. I'm going to stick it on there with some dimensional adhesive anyways. What the dimensional adhesive does is it gives a little bit of a shadow under the cut word, and that just adds a little bit more dimension. And then this really bright pink cardstock came with the kit, and I'm going to decide to change it over right away. it became clear to me. Now what I forgot to do here was put a swoosh of the Distress paint on here, which would have made it look a little bit more like frosting. I'm trying to get the frosting look, but I forgot to do that. So it's going to have kind of like a sprinkled look. And it is a brighter, it's like a more true pink, whereas the pink from the Amy Tangerine paper was just a little teensy bit muted. It was still quite a bright pink, but it wasn't quite as bright as this pink. I'm seeing here on the video that this pink doesn't look all that different than the Amy Tangerine one, but it actually is quite a bit brighter, and it's very close to a neon pink. It's not neon, but it's close. So I just used exactly the same mists. I'm going to peel this off very carefully because I do not want to rip the paper, because I only have one piece of this paper because it was in the kit. So I just used the same adhesive pop dots because they were still sticky, so I just laid that right on top. Now this is a Zig Millennium pen. It came in a kit from quite a long, like maybe over the summer or something, and it's called Pure Pink and it's 0.05, and I wanted to outline the outer edge of this layout, but I didn't want to outline it in just black. I wanted it to have more, to bring some of the pink to the outside of the layout, because this layout is not going to have any accents on the edges of it. It's not going to have, I'm going to go over this a total of 3 times. And then I'm going to, with the pink, and then I'm using a 0.005 black pen that just, basically it's so thin it looks like a thread. And it just adds a tiny bit of impact to the edges. Because they were outlined in pink, it was very difficult to see I just wanted to give it a bit more impact. So now I'm going to put these pop dots all around the edges of my title, just so that the paper doesn't go right against the black. I want it to stand up a little bit. I want the background paper to stand up a little bit off of the black backing so that it creates that shadow that I talked about earlier. And now I don't really need it to be dimensional on the edges, so I just used my regular adhesive there. It's going to take me a few minutes to get all of these backings off of all of these pop dots. So there we go. And now I'm just going to line that up. And I like how that looks. Now I am going to do some more sprinkling on this before I add the layers that I created. So I took that SEI tumble dye again in the neon pink, and I just splattered it all over the place. And then I took the skyscraper, and I just want to bring a little bit of black down to that over to the right hand side of the layout. So I didn't put the black around the title because I didn't want to take away from the title at all. I want the title to be really like a nice pop of black. You are the frosting on my cupcake. So I kept the black sprinkles over on the other side. I am drying them and with my heat gun again, as usual. And sorry, there's a lot of noises upstairs. I don't know what's going on. I don't know if you guys can hear all that, but yeah. So when I put this back, it wasn't lining up quite right, so I took off the fun, and I'll put it back on in a second after I get my photo. I must not have used enough adhesive because the photo came off, and then it just wasn't layering right, so I just took off a small strip of the transparency just so that the happy sticker would stick out a little tiny bit. You can see through the transparency, so you can totally read happy even though most of it is covered. That's what I love about layering with vellum and transparency, is you can really stick things in and still be able to read it. So I'm looking for a couple of more accents here. So I'm having a look at the Amy Tangerine stickers, and now I'm going to put some of these stars. These are from Lawn Fawn, and they're kind of like puffy stars. They're very similar to enamel dots, but they are stars, and they have glitter in them. They're really cute. I was going to move one of them, but it became clear that they're pretty stuck, and I didn't want to tear the paper. So, and now I'm going to accent it with a couple of enamel dots just from my stash. There's always enamel dots left over from kits, so I have lots of them in my stash to kind of add, and I'm adding a couple of pink and a couple of yellow. It's not quite the same bright pink as I was looking for, but it will do. Just adds a little bit more dimension on both of those corners. And the Lump On stickers did come in the kit. And now I want to put something on the fun. It's too white and plain, and so I took this puffy sticker from Amy Tangerine that came in the kit, and I'm going to put some foam dots underneath just to make sure that the flags of my banner with fun on it don't get smushed down when it goes in my scrapbook. And now I'm going to show you the close-ups. So, hang on, I'll show you the close-ups in just a second. I needed to add one more star. So here are the close-ups of this one. I really love how the title came out, and I will make that die cut for the silhouette available on my blog. If it's not there, if this video is just loaded when you're watching this, then it might not be there yet. Just check back again in a few minutes and it should be there shortly. So this is what it looks like overall. I'm really pleased. I love the layers and I really love that wood grain. I think it brings in some of the brown from the chocolate and the frosting. And I'm not sure what I'm doing here. Okay, now you're going to get to see some of the layers. I don't know what I did there. So I like how Happy kind of peeks out a little bit over the overhead transparency, and that Amy Tangerine arrow was perfect for putting just under the fun die cut. And the only thing that this layout is missing at this point is I wanted to write just that this picture was taken after school. We were decorating cupcakes as an after school activity, and so I'm just going to sit down and do some journaling about that at the very bottom. I don't want to, first I'm going to take a picture for my Instagram and then I'm going to do this. It just says decorating cupcakes after school, and then a roller date stamp. I used an Amy Tangerine one, and I just wanted the journaling to be kind of down at the bottom and not really taking away from anything. I thought about putting it on that star paper there, but I just decided to put it down at the bottom instead. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this. Have a great scrappy week.